Hello, Mr. Rice, your remote narrator back with some more sentence diagramming. This time we're going to look at prepositions and prepositional phrases. So, as always, I'd like to begin with the sentence here. This time I've picked the girl with the blonde hair jumped across the frozen stream onto the rocks. And I tried to make sure there were plenty of prepositions to work with so you can see how prepositional phrases work. Now, as far as identifying prepositions, uh, unlike some of the other words like subjects, direct objects, nouns, verbs, and adjectives and adverbs, prepositions are more limited. You could probably memorize all the prepositions if you'd like to. In fact, if you want to learn a song or two to learn how to memorize all the prepositions, hit me in the comments and maybe I'll make a video of that later. But for the meantime, if you need to address a list of prepositions, just to double check, there's alphabetical lists of prepositions online. They're pretty easy to find, or you can just memorize. Now, typically, what I would look for at the very beginning is a verb, some type of action. But since I know I have prepositions, I'm going to go ahead and set those aside first because one of the common mistakes made with prepositional phrases is that people will take like the objects of those phrases and try to use them as direct objects, or they'll take the modifiers in those phrases and try to use them as modifiers in the wrong place. And it's really easier if you just separate them in the first place. That's why I've got these parentheses over here. I'm going to start with first preposition that I see, which is with. So I'm going to put an open parentheses around that. Then to find my prepositional phrase, I'm going to start with the preposition, and then I ask the question, what or whom? And that's the object of my preposition. So let's find the object. With what? With hair. The girl with hair. Fortunate for her. All right. So that's my first prepositional phrase, with the blonde hair. And then the next one I see is across. Across what? Across stream. There we go. And then finally, onto, I see there. Onto what? Onto rocks. And so now I have essentially taken out three large chunks that I can worry about at the very end. And all I'm left with is the girl jumped. That makes for a pretty easy sentence to diagram. I'll go ahead and take the action there, jumped. I don't see any other helping verbs. And I'll put it just kind of right in the middle there since I know there's nothing coming after it, nothing else before it. But I'm still leaving a big line because I got some prepositional phrases to attach here that are a little bit long. Who or what jumped? Girl. There we go. That's my subject. Which girl is it? Which one? It's an adjective describing girl. It is the girl. Now all I'm left with are these prepositional phrases, with the blonde hair, across the frozen stream, and onto the rocks. And what's kind of crazy about these prepositional phrases is, if I think about it, these all answer questions that I already have. With the blonde hair is answering, which girl is it? Which one? Which girl? Girl with the blonde hair. So this entire prepositional phrase is an adjective that describes girl. Across the frozen stream answers where she jumped. Where? It's an adverb question. Onto the rocks also answers where she jumped. Another adverb question. So I know that across the frozen stream is going to be underneath jumped, and onto the rocks is going to be underneath jumped. Now I just need to figure out how to arrange the diagram within, but I can go ahead and put my lines up here for each of them. Magic, there you go. Now that my lines are all in place for my prepositional phrases, let's put the prepositions on. So we start with describing girl. The girl with what? The girl with hair. Across, it's the one that's underneath jumped. It's answering the question where. Across what? Across stream. Onto, also answering where. Onto what? Onto rocks. And hey, look, I got some modifiers left. Good old the is there. For a little more magic there, now we have all of our lines there. So now I just need to go through, once again, ask the adjective questions because these are all nouns. Every object of a preposition is a noun. So I'll ask the adjective question. Which hair? The hair. What kind of hair? Blonde hair. And then on to the next one. Which stream? It's the stream. What kind of stream is it? It's a frozen stream. And finally, which rocks? The rocks. You're going to be asking which one about the word the quite a lot with most diagrams. It's very, very common in the English language. And I am left with a wonderfully diagrammed sentence with 3 prepositional phrases. Girl jumped. Where did she jump? Across the stream, which was frozen, across the frozen stream, onto the rocks, also where she jumped. And then what kind of girl was she? She was a girl with the blonde hair. That's how you diagram prepositional phrases. If you have any questions, hit me in the comments and I'll be happy to help you out there. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.
Where's my